High school graduation season is upon us, so I thought I'd make a video with some advice for those of you graduating and or those of you not graduating. When I was in your shoes in high school, I didn't want to follow anyone's advice. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. This led to me doing some dumb thing. For example, there was a period of time when all I would eat is Papa John's breadsticks. Don't get me wrong, Papa John's breadsticks pretty good, but you shouldn't only eat Papa John's breadsticks. That's dumb. I'm not asking you to follow my advice. I'm only asking that you consider it. Now the advice is going to come in three categories. First, life, then college, then work. I heard a speaker say recently, the most important question to any teenager is, who am I? That guy was for sure right. That is the most important question. My first piece of advice is related to this and will help you answer that question. And it is, read some books. If or when you read a book, one of a few things is going to happen. If you read a book and you agree with what the book says, this is going to strengthen your belief. Someone who wrote a book agrees with what you believe, you're going to have a stronger belief. This is going to help with your self-identity. The second thing that could happen is you could disagree with what the book says. And you wouldn't disagree just randomly, you'll know why you disagreed. This will also strengthen your belief in that thing. Third, you could read a book and you learn something new and gain a belief about something you previously hadn't thought about. This is also going to strengthen your identity. You're going to know who you are. You have a new belief. And fourth, you could read a book and it could change one of your beliefs. This is the definition of learning. So you would have had some belief before, now you got some new information, it changed your belief, now you have a new belief. So if you read a book, no matter what, it's going to help you know who you are. It's going to change your beliefs potentially or strengthen your beliefs, and you in your identity are the sum of all your beliefs. So read some books. A short list of who you could start with: Dale Carnegie, Thomas Stanley, Mark Manson, and just Google self-help books. Try and absorb as many thoughts and books. This will help you know who you are. Related to reading books, talk to people, ask questions, ask for advice, ask your professors, ask your boss, ask your relatives. Try and be a sponge and soak up as much knowledge as you can, as many perspectives as you can. It's going to help you learn who you want to be and who you are. It's going to help answer that most important question of, who am I? And when you're talking to these people and reading these books, try and keep an open mind. Try and be open to hearing new thoughts and new ideas and new beliefs. My second piece of advice stems from the fact that no one has an easy life. Let's consider two people. The first person has a hard job and the second person has an easy job. The first person's life is hard because he has a hard job. The second person's life is hard even though he has an easy job. Think about it. If he's working an easy job, he's probably not making a good wage. If he's not making a good wage, then it's hard for him to afford his rent. It's hard for him to afford a car. It's hard for him to do the things he wants to do. So no matter what, no one has an easy life. Everyone is suffering. So my second piece of advice is, be kind. My third piece of advice comes from a quote that says, crow is a dish best served warm. And what this means is, if you make a mistake, say you're sorry and say it now. Don't wait. Don't let tensions and strife build. Don't be proud, especially to those people you're close to and that you care about. Say you're sorry and say it now. My next piece of advice comes from a quote that says, resentment is like taking poison and expecting the other person to die. And it means that if you're resenting someone or not forgiving someone, it doesn't hurt them at all. It just hurts you. So don't be proud. Forgive people if they do you wrong. Don't keep a gap between people you care about. Even people you don't care about, it doesn't hurt them. It only hurts you. So forgive people. Don't be proud. Don't be resentful. One of my favorite authors, Mitch Albom, said in one of his books, through forgiveness, anything is possible. And he's right. So forgive people. Don't let pride keep you from staying close to those people you care about. My next piece of advice is, don't worry about what other people think. It may feel like they're all looking at you and there's a big spotlight on you, but there's not. If you make a mistake, don't worry about it. Nobody cares. They all have their own lives to worry about. They're not focusing only on you. Don't worry about it. My next piece of advice is, don't be a destination person. Enjoy the journey. I was a destination person back in the day, and what I mean is I would set some goal, and I thought to myself, once I get to that goal, I'm gonna be happy. But what happened is exactly when I got to that goal, the moment I got to that goal, I just set a new goal. And so I'm always focusing on getting to the next goal, and I'm never happy in the moment. So don't do that. Enjoy the day-to-day, enjoy the journey. Still set goals, but enjoy the journey. My next piece of advice is, be grateful and be satisfied with what you have. Life is all about relativity. If you compare yourself to Elon Musk, you're gonna feel poor. But if you compare yourself to someone over here, you're gonna feel wealthy. So try and make this comparison, not this comparison. You're gonna be much happier if you're grateful for where you are and satisfied with where you are than if you're always comparing yourself to this guy who's way better off. So try and just keep some perspective and realize that wherever you are, you're lucky to be there. Be satisfied, be grateful, be happy. So that's the end of the life advice. Now we move on to college-related advice. This first piece of advice may be a little controversial and maybe it's not exactly college advice, but it is. If you're not sure if college is the place for you, consider joining the military. I went into the military and it did me a lot of good. You learn discipline. You grow up really fast. You learn that you can do hard things, which builds your confidence. You learn your identity. You make some really good friends. You get to do and see things that a lot of other people never ever will get to see or do. It's a good thing. Regarding college, if you go to the military and serve a tour, you get something called the GI Bill. So this means when you're done with your tour in the military will pay for college, which is tuition and books and room and board for you. So college is paid for. You won't have a big college debt when you finish. And if you get out of the military and you're like, college isn't for me, the new GI Bill is awesome in that you can transfer to a spouse or to a child. So someone's going to get their education paid for because you were in the military. So it's awesome. There are other benefits as well, such as lots of big firms in the US have a hiring preference. So if it's you and another identical person, both applying for the same job, and you're a veteran and they're not, you're going to get the job. There's also benefits in terms of home loans. It's a little bit easier to get a home loan if you're a veteran than if you weren't. So my first piece of advice is consider joining the military. My second piece of college advice is consider going to a community college for the first 2 years. This will save you a ton of money. Many community colleges are free and some are very cheap. I've heard of $7 per credit hour, which means a class will cost $21. That's crazy cheap. This will save you lots and lots of dollars. You can live with your parents, you can probably have a second job and have no debt from going to a community college. Then you can transfer the credits to a bigger, proper college and you'll get the same degree as all the other people who are going to that proper, more expensive college for 4 years. So it would save you a ton of money. Also, if you're not a high school senior, there are some high schools in the US that let you go to a community college in place of high school. I've known people who graduated high school with an associate's degree from a community college. This would save that person a ton of money and 2 years of their life. They don't need to sit 4 years in college, they don't need to spend 2 years in college. So consider a community college for the first 2 years. My third piece of college advice, study something that's going to make you worth more after college, that raises your value in the job market. Things on the list would include healthcare, business, engineering. You want that degree to have a big return on investment. So study something that's going to get you a bigger salary once you're finished. I read recently in the census data that 41% of recent college graduates are working in jobs that don't require a college degree. So this 41%, which is a huge amount, they sort of wasted time going to college, wasted time and money because they don't need that degree to be in their job. So don't be one of those 41%. Study something that's going to increase your value in the job market. My next piece of college-related advice is try to be efficient. Try to graduate on time in 4 years. Try not to stick around for 5 or 6 years. You don't want to have more debt and a later start. I promise life is going to be better for you when you're out in the world, making a proper wage, living as an adult with your own place and your freedom and your car and your life. That's going to be way better than staying in college. So try to finish on time. My next piece of college advice, don't take out more loans than you need. So if you need $15,000, but you're offered $20,000, don't take $20,000. You're going to have to pay it back and interest over a long period of time, decades potentially. You'd like to graduate with as little debt as possible. So don't take out loans you don't need. And make sure you apply for all the scholarships you can and low interest loans before going on to higher interest loans. You want as little debt as possible when you come out of college. It's going to be a weight on your back that you'd rather not have. Now we're in the third category of advice, which is work advice. My first 2 pieces of advice in this category are to get a job. If you just graduated, you're going to have 3 or 4 months till you start college. Get a job. If you didn't just graduate, you're going to have 3 or 4 months till you start high school back up. Get a job. It's going to teach you 2 things. The first thing it's going to teach you is the value of a dollar. If you ever want to be successful in life financially, you need to understand the value of a dollar. Money doesn't grow on trees. If you want something in life, you can't say, "Hey Dad, I need to borrow $10." You need to earn the $10. And the job is going to teach you what it takes to to earn money. You're going to value and respect money much more if you've earned it than if you never have. That's the first thing. The second thing a job is going to do for you is it's going to teach you about life. So let me tell you a story. I have a friend who grew up in Chicago, and his dad worked on the railroads and his grandpa worked on the railroads. So when he graduated from high school, he knew he was going to work on the railroad. Now, nothing against working on the railroads. One of my best friends back home, he works on railroads, and it's a good fit for him. Anyways, back to the story. So he graduates high school and he gets a job working on the railroad. Fast forward 6 months, it's January, he's working on the railroads and he's working nights. So he's freezing his butt off in the middle of the night, every single night in Chicago, and he realizes this isn't for me. I don't like this. And so he went to college. He is now a statistician for the government and happy. So the second thing a job can do for you is it can teach you what you don't want to do with your life. So get a job. My third piece of work advice is if you get a job with a company that offers retirement benefits, such as a 401k, take advantage of those benefits. If they match your investment up to 5% of your salary, make sure you invest 5% of your salary in some mutual fund, in some retirement savings. So take advantage of your work's retirement benefit. And my last piece of advice is take advantage of educational assistance that your firm might offer. So Starbucks and lots of other companies will pay for your college if you work there after such and such a period of time. So if you work at a firm that offers educational assistance and you're interested in going to college, then take advantage of that educational assistance and go to college on your firm's dime. Let them pay for you to go to college. So that concludes the advice I have for you. Congratulations on finishing high school and best of luck going out into the big world. You're very, very lucky to be where you are and have all of life out in front of you. You really can do whatever you want if you work hard. If you watched the video and thought it was valuable, please click below to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great summer.